Just want to think, I'm ready to do another review of another story that I actually want to follow up on. Johnny Boy 11 has to come in and punch me in the fucking balls. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason of this review for the next 10 chapters of course, No Gods, No Masters, is simply put because Johnny Boy 11 decided to do a two-parter. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a dreaded two-parter, and if you know my rules, you know I don't do two parts. Or at least I don't do part 1 without a part 2. I try to at least encompass the entire fucking story. Does that mean I hate Johnny Boy 11? No, in fact, I love the bastard because, dear God, the build-up was worth it. But before we get into that, let's talk about the latest entries into this story. And kind of cover exactly what happened so far. So the latest entry into these stories is something that I actually fully fucking enjoyed. Not only that, but I finally get to use my predictions. The predictions I have been preparing for the last time that we covered this story. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bunny Warriors are an actual military unit, and this story actually confirms the detractors, actually confirms what I said long time ago, and has confirmed what Johnny Boy 11's been teasing us. The Bunny Warriors are now a full military force!
Fuck you! I was right! Fuck you! I was right! Fuck you! I was right!
So, yeah, this in of itself is actually really, really good. And I love it. Because of three things. Number one, we see that he is actually staying away from the tropes that we see in every single Gate fanfiction, where a more advanced force does not, for some reason, make allies, or at least for some fucking and ungodly dumbass reason, does not try to at least make allied forces and bring them up to their standards. We see this in other Gate fanfictions, like The Fight We Chose, or We Choose, depending on how you want to go with that, where Daniel actually, and I'm saying Daniel as the author's name because I'm not going to say how it's full fucking... Either way though, The Fight We Chose shows this. It shows that the allied forces of the Americans are given surplus equipment, give or take, but also basic stuff. We see this in another Gate story that I need to review in the future, where a Wolfenstein-esque Germany actually starts outfitting its colonial forces with World War II era equipment and stuff, like Kar 98Ks, MP40s, equipment, things like that. You can see hints of this in even possibly and hopefully in the future of maybe the Kaiserreich Gate story from, of course, our good friend Wambag. Whether maybe we get some sort of like Wild West themed law enforcement where they're given lever gats and revolvers. Again, there are just so many things that could be done with that they're doing that takes away from the cookie cutter, copy and paste, basic bullshit Gate stories. And I am very happy that Johnny Boy 11 is very much so showing that you don't have to copy and paste, you can improve upon it. And improve he is. Because one of the cool things about this is that during an exercise, Rory shows up in this story and basically threatens the UNSC. It's funny as hell, and I absolutely fucking love it. But what is said, what Dr. Halsey says to Rory, I will remember this, because this has got to be the sickest burn in all of history. This has got to be the greatest dialogue in all of history. That I'm going to read it verbatim, because it is that fucking good.
I don't like where this is going.
So, the speech that follows, because, let me, okay, so the reason this is so good is because Rory threatens Dr. Halsey in front of UEG representatives that are there watching war games being perpetrated by the UNSC Marines and, of course, the Bunny Warriors, the Bravo Whiskies, as they are basically showing how good they can be as shock troopers. And before this, there was this lovely little thing of the Queen Bunny actually singing a version of Battle Cry of Freedom.
Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom.
And I absolutely fucking love it, but I'm going to read this verbatim because this is after a Mac round is launched at a mountain, and the absolute sick burn that this is. Let me just... Okay. Now listen to me, and listen well, Rory Mercury, apostle of Imroy, and tell your God this the next time you see him, so he may send it further to his brothers and sisters. We can reshape or destroy this land as we see fit, just like your gods threatened, and we can do it at the press of a single button, or the bark of a single order from me or my subordinates. We wield the power of the sun in the palm of our hands. The power to wipe out entire cities and civilizations from the safety of a place higher than where even your gods, like this, Imroy, rest. I ask you this, Miss Mercury. What is a god to a non-believer, then, Miss Mercury? What is a god to an armed and belligerent non-believer?
I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker! I will massacre you! I will fuck you up!
Damn!
That, right there, ladies and gentlemen, has got to be the best damn burn in all of fanfiction history. That has got to be the best damn burn I've ever read in my life. And I've got to ask Johnny Boy 11 whenever I see him again, whether or not he wrote this, or he came up with it, or he was inspired by something, because, dear God, that was amazing. Now, of course, it gets better from there, because as the time goes on, there is more exploration. One of the explorations goes to a Dragonkin village, where they meet the Dragonkin and realize that the Bunny Warriors, while, yes, being a little bit more nomadic, being a little bit more tribal, when compared to the Dragonkin, or, Dragonborn, whichever terminology you want to go with, be it D&D or otherwise, basically dragon folk, are essentially medieval. You know, like kings, knights, Sir Arthurian's court of the round. You know, that sort of thing. And they basically are now friendly with the UNSC, even though threatened by the Romans, essentially, they'll go to war with. That ain't gonna fucking happen anytime soon, considering that the UNSC allies themselves with these people. Now, the big thing about it is they discover the Forerunner technology that they were looking for, and this raises a lot of questions, especially some from the original Halo games. Halo 4 and Halo, as much as people want to hate the game itself, Halo 5, and even Halo Infinite. The Forerunner technology is something that I am going to go ahead and present a theory for. I believe that the world they're on is actually an ark of sorts, an experiment to try and see if they can save sentient species from the flood by literally opening trans-dimensional gates to other dimensions to save themselves from the flood infestation. And I believe this world is not only a shield world, but is that experiment, allowing that to happen. Or it could be something else entirely. I don't know. It is one of those things of, is this what it is, or is this something else as a whole? Again, so much to look at and so much possibilities into it. So, yeah, one of those things. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the other side of what's going on, because as soon as they discover this Forerunner installation, they begin trying to make sure that, you know, there is a understanding between them and the Dragonborn, or at least the Dragon Newts, or the half-dragons, whatever you want to call them, and basically allow the science teams to be able to study the Forerunner tech. And they do. There is a peaceful accord, and there's even a lot more gained out of it, a possible new alliance. But here's where the finally opening of the gate happens. Chapter 10, 3 years into this, with the Bunny Warriors now being somewhat at the level of the technology they have now, we see what has happened. The gate opens up, and they are watching via UAVs at the expeditionary forces that are going in to attack Ginza. However, they piss off a lot of people. So before we get to this, let's go ahead and cover what happened in Ginza. In Ginza, we follow a USMC Marine Corps officer alongside Yoji Itami. They're both friends, both otakus, both have fun. There's even a joke about the isekai genre that I absolutely love, and Johnny Boy 11, I fucking love you so much, my man, for making the joke. I'm not going to talk about the joke, I'd rather you guys go read it yourself. But, much like the anime, and much like the plot itself, it does follow the semi-close to it. Unlike most, the Marine takes charge, and actually is handled in a more realistic sense. You have two officers in two different militaries. Put into a terrorist attack, the training kicks in, that leadership training kicks in. They start taking command as soon as possible and try to help save civilians. As soon as they're kitted out with weapons and abilities to help defend against these people, the Marine Corps comes in, the SDF comes in, or at least the GSDF comes in, the Ground Self-Defense Forces come in, and they start taking charge and start eliminating the terrorist and hostile forces. Ginza, however, unlike the anime, actually shows the other embassies that are in the area, because if you look at Ginza in real life, there are a lot of embassies, not just America, but also other nationalities, which does cause the UN to get involved. Chief among them are the Russians, the Chinese, and the Americans, as well as a few other nationalities that I won't specify, but I'd rather let you guys find out as you read it. As they move in, of course, they get contacted by, well, after, of course, they push back the attacking forces, they get contacted by the UNSC. And the ending joke, I fucking love, not really ending joke, just absolute statement, is the Marine Corps officer literally asking, what the hell kind of op did we just get into?
I have several questions.
Because now they have to deal with the fact that they are in the future!
Excuse me, what?
Or possibly an alternate timeline. Or dealing with essentially extraterrestrials. Again, there is so much happening here that it is going to be amazing. And unlike other UNSC stuff, UNSC gate stories, they're not gonna try the pussyfoot around. Halsey is a take-charge woman. And how the hell Captain Keyes was able to get that kind of gal, I don't know. The big thing about this story, though, is that the possibilities going forward are endless. And knowing Johnny Boy 11, this is where things are going to basically be in his court. Because unlike other Gate stories, I don't see them continuing on. I don't see them continuing on with the plot of basically 3rd Recon doing deep reconnaissance. What I see happening is them getting information from their futuristic counterparts, and them reporting back to their superiors exactly what's going on. Envoys are then sent to the FOB after it's built, of course, and then we get to learn a lot more. We'll get to see the reactions to the Bravo Whiskies and how they're set up. Who knows? Maybe there are some Gurkhas among the expeditionary forces for the UN, and they see these bunny warriors or the Bravo Whiskies with their kookeries, and immediately maybe start opening a dialogue and start talking, kind of sharing mutual respect of fellow fervid shock trooper warriors, or even kind of sharing their service. You know, just there's a lot that can go on with this, and a lot I cannot wait to see go down. Again, the possibilities are endless. So, to my friends out there and my fellow viewers who understand the Gurkha culture, let me know in the comment section down below what the Gurkha's reaction would be to seeing, essentially, their futuristic fantasy counterparts. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But the big element is going to be the lore dump. The biggest thing about Gate that is always and will always be is the lore dumps whenever the crossovers are done. However, with basically this happening, I could see Johnny Boy 11 literally giving us what we've always wanted. A full scope of UNSC history. The world reacting to not only, of course, Cutter's last stand, or Cole's last stand, whichever one you want to go with, but also just the war itself. The absolute sheer fact that these humans fought a war of survival, and whether or not Halo is real in this timeline, and if Halo is real in this timeline, that opens up a whole lot of possibilities. Basically, Dr. Halsey's reaction to her being a character in a game, or even the Spartans seeing a fervid fan base. Again, there is so much that Johnny Boy can do, and I'm just looking so forward to it, and I cannot wait to see how this plans out, how this turns out. But what do I think of the chapters so far, all the way up to chapter 11? And the fact that he did a fucking 2-parter. I am happy. Happy. Because, again, there's so much here, and I love it. If you want to read this yourself, link down below in the pinned comment. And to Johnny Boy 11, goddamn, my dude. Just, goddamn. I am so looking forward to what you come up with next. I am so looking forward to see where this goes. If by the time of this filming of the video, the Russians haven't invaded Romania yet, and you had to evacuate to a safe location. Yeah, for those of you who have forgotten, Johnny Boy 11 is a Romanian, and he is in Romania, which is right next to a active combat zone. I am in touch with him, and I'm making sure that he keeps me updated on what's going on in Romania. But either way, though. So, again, there is so much that this could do, and I'm really looking forward to it. Which, speaking of Johnny Boy 11's story, why don't I go ahead and get back to one that I know I've skipped out on and I need to cover. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a look next time at his take on Girls Front Line, and what happens when Cortana, the most advanced AI known to man, shows up in a world where AI fight AI. Spoiler alert, it's goddamn amazing. Till next time.